This past weekend, the political world was consumed by one question: where is Donald Trump? Online, a narrative quickly formed, dubbed Weekend at Donny's, suggesting the former president was unwell and his team was clumsily trying to fake a proof of life with old photos and strange social media posts. Now, many outlets have done a great job breaking down the inconsistencies. The dates on the photos, the lack of palm trees in Virginia, the recycled outfits. It's a compelling story of potential deception. But tonight we're going to ask a different question. Instead of just asking if they're lying, we're going to ask why. What does this entire episode, real or manufactured, tell us about the strategy of the Trump campaign and the state of our political information war? This isn't just about one man's health. It's about a battle for reality itself. First, let's establish the scene. Since last Wednesday, Donald Trump has been conspicuously absent from the public eye. For any major political figure, especially one as media present as Trump, a multi-day absence creates a vacuum. And in politics, a vacuum is always filled with speculation. The campaign's response to this vacuum is what's fascinating. Instead of a simple, verifiable appearance, a quick video message, a photo with a current newspaper, they released a series of digital breadcrumbs that seemed designed to invite scrutiny. The photo with John Gruden is the perfect example. It was easily cross-referenced with Gruden's own post from a week earlier. So we have two possibilities. One, it's an incredibly clumsy, amateurish attempt at a cover-up. Or two, the chaos is part of the point. Let's explore that second idea. The Trump political brand has never been about precision or objective fact. It's about creating a constant state of conflict and keeping him at the center of the conversation. Think about what this weekend achieved for them. First, it dominates the news cycle. Instead of discussing rising national debt under his administration or his controversial policy decisions, everyone, from cable news to social media, is playing digital detective over a golf photo. He makes the conversation about him, not his record. Second, it energizes the base by creating a common enemy. The campaign posts something ambiguous, the media and his opponents fact-check it and call it a lie. The campaign can then turn to their supporters and say, see, the fake news media is obsessed with us. They're ghoulishly rooting for the president to be sick. You can't trust them. It becomes a loyalty test. Believing the photo is recent becomes an act of defiance against the establishment. And third, it lowers the bar for truth. When the public is constantly bombarded with questionable claims, debunkings, and counterclaims, the collective sense of objective reality gets worn down. It creates an environment where a significant portion of the electorate simply tunes out the details and follows the figure they trust, regardless of the evidence. But this strategy is not without significant risk. While it works for the dedicated base, it can look utterly bizarre and untrustworthy to undecided voters. The Weekend at Donny's narrative makes the campaign look chaotic and, frankly, weak. The perception that a leader might be hiding an illness is politically damaging, and a botched attempt to cover it up is even worse. It suggests a team that is either incompetent or deeply panicked. This stands in stark contrast to how the Biden team handled the weekend. Regardless of your political views, the visual here is clear. The Biden camp projected an image of normalcy, family, and transparency. It was a simple, effective move to create a visual foil to the chaos surrounding Trump. They didn't even have to say anything. The images did the work for them. So in the end, the question of whether Donald Trump played golf on Sunday is almost secondary. The real story is what this episode reveals. It shows a campaign that defaults to media warfare and narrative control over simple transparency. It shows a political environment where creating chaos can be a deliberate strategy, and where a loyal base is willing to live within a reality constructed specifically for them. But that strategy is fragile. The proof of life paradox is this: the very attempt to prove vitality and control created a bigger story about weakness and deception. And that is a powerful lesson in the high-stakes game of modern American politics.